What's good, y'all? Kyle. Welcome back to my channel. Make sure you subscribe. Today we're going to be talking about the Orlando Magic, who is the team that I think has kind of the upside and young talent to be able to maybe make the play-in or the playoffs next year. But this is a really fun team, and I really believe in their young core. I think they have a really, versatile group of just big guys who can do a lot of things. They have, some good defenders. They have some great scorers. So I just think the Orlando Magic moving forward are going to be a team to keep your eyes on. And when you talk about the Orlando Magic, obviously you have to begin with Paolo Banchero. I gave Paolo his own, separate breakdown video. That's, on my channel. But Paolo, which is a really, really great scorer. He's like 6'10", he's huge, can handle the ball really well. Really great, shooter in between. Really physical inside, can overpower, smaller players, can, speed past bigger players. So Paolo is just a really great example of being a really great wing scorer. He can get to his own shot at mid-range, like I said before. He can, drive to the paint. He can operate just isolation. He's just a really great scorer. Averaged 20 points per game this season, so it was really fun to see, the Magic finally get the #1 pick and finally allow a rookie to come in and be a really special guy. And they just recently had a rookie be a special guy, and that guy was Franz. He's obviously not a rookie anymore, but he's one of the best players on the Magic. His game is really, really fun to me because he's so bouncy and wiggly, and he has a great handle. He's great, using change of pace and whatnot. But I just really like the craft that Franz has, and he's a pretty, solid passer. And I just really like the way that Franz plays. He can shoot, much better than most of the players on the Magic, and he's the shooter that Paolo Banchero is not. But I like that, combination of having two kind of bigger wing players. They both can handle the ball. They both can get to their own shot. They both can just create a lot of offense, between the two of them. So Franz and Paolo Banchero being your main two guys moving forward, I really like that for the Orlando Magic. I think the next step for Paolo, obviously, is getting that three-point shot. But if Paolo can just get teams to respect him from out there, even draw closeouts, that opens up just a lot for his game. Franz Wagner's already drawing those closeouts. We see what he can do against them. We see how he can, Euro step through the lane, through traffic. We see how he can just operate in the pick and roll. We've seen him just have, great games, consistently. So I really like that, being your main duo going forward. But the Magic have, some solid young talent that I think can, step it up a little bit. Mostly Jalen Suggs. Like Jalen Suggs, they took him, pretty high. I think they took him like maybe #5 during this draft cycle. And Jalen Suggs, he has been, I don't want to say disappointment because there's been injuries, there's been all kinds of stuff, but he has not performed like how they might have hoped he would perform. I really like his, defensive upside. I think he's a great guy to have. It's not a lot of great defenders at the guard position, so I feel like having a great guard defender on your team is really important. But the offense kind of has to come to a head for Jalen Suggs, and I feel like with adding Anthony Black, it kind of leaves writing on the wall for Jalen Suggs. But I think if they were to keep him, he'd be a great 6-7 man option. Great guy coming off the bench, come in and impact the game defensively. Get on transition, maybe get a couple drives, but I just really like the defensive upside that Jalen Suggs has. And like the guy I just mentioned, Anthony Black, he's another guy. I think he's about 6'7". He's showed a lot of great stuff at the point of attack. He showed a lot of stuff, digging and helping at the nail. So I really like that they added a defender, and they also added, a great driver. Anthony Black's a pretty good driver. He's pretty, strong, athletic. He's not, so like a great creator, so he's not going to come in and demand a bunch of touches and just take a lot of stuff away from other guys. But he's a guy who can, get busy in transition. Maybe if the teams close out to him, he's not a great shooter, but if he can, draw closeouts this year, like I said before for the other guy, if you can draw closeouts, then that means it's going to open up your driving game. But even just out of the triple threat, Anthony Black, I feel like, can get to the rim reliably. And another guy who can get to the rim reliably on the Magic is Markelle Fultz. Markelle Fultz has had a pretty good career revival on the Orlando Magic. He's one of the best drivers, I feel like. And the way he can just, get downhill at will almost is really, really good. And I really like that he can get to the pull-up pretty well. So I just really like, the combination of talent that the Orlando Magic have. And then they just round it all around because they have a great defensive and just versatile starting center in Wendell Carter Jr., former Bull, sadly, but we traded him. That's all right. Wendell Carter Jr., pretty versatile defensive, center. He can switch on, most guys. He can shoot the three. I know his percentages weren't that, great, but I think moving forward, I would probably trust that he's going to be more reliable shooting the three. He can shoot the mid-range. He can, he's pretty solid rebounder. He is, an undersized center, but I feel like he does a pretty good job just defending and protecting the rim and then switching out, when it calls for that. And, he was giving you, 15 points per game last year. So I feel like he was a pretty good, versatile guy to have, and that's kind of where the NBA is going. You need that versatility. You need that, guys who can space the floor in this day and age. So I feel like having a center like Wendell Carter Jr. is pretty big. So I just really like, the kind of the cast of talent that the Orlando Magic have. So next year, they haven't really added anybody crazy. They added Anthony Black. They traded a bunch of guys away, and they got rid of Bol Bol. Bol Bol was a fun, moment in the season, but obviously moving forward, he's not going to be that great. Jonathan Isaac, even with all the Fox News and all the stuff that he does, he's pretty, he's a pretty special defender. And I feel like if he was healthy, he would just add a lot to the core. He would be a pretty great defender to have next to, Paolo, and help him out, and next to Wendell, and just be a really fearsome duo on defense with him and Wendell. But, he has all the crazy injury stuff and just all that crazy stuff. But if he were to play, I feel like he would definitely help out the team a lot. But I feel like the Magic are, the prototypical team that you want to see moving forward in the NBA. Like, having wings as your creators, but they're actually, like, really good at creating shots for themselves. Like, jumbo wing creators are, I feel like what the NBA is leaning towards nowadays. And so with them bringing in Anthony Black, who's 6'7", pretty solid passer. I watched, some of the tape recently, and I feel like he's a pretty solid passer. But Paolo, Banchero, Franz as the top two moving forward. When it comes between them two, I really can't decide who I think is going to be the better player moving forward, because I feel like Franz Wagner's game is more versatile right now. But in between and, getting to the rim and stuff, I feel like Paolo has him there. But as long as you have them two and keep those two under contract, keep them together, let them gel and play off for each other, I feel like that's going to be really huge for the Magic moving forward. I haven't even mentioned Cole Anthony. Cole Anthony is one of my favorite players in the NBA. I feel like he is he's not, super efficient, but I feel like at certain times he can come off the bench, give you an offensive spark, create his own shots, get to the pull-up, space the floor. He can get to the rim as well. I feel like Cole Anthony is a pretty viable option off the bench, but I wouldn't be shocked if they were to move on from him to, free time up for their other guards. But I just really like Cole Anthony because I think his game is pretty complete as a scorer. But, you want to see the efficiency get up. But, yeah, I really like Cole Anthony if you haven't, noticed. But, yeah, man, the Orlando Magic, I think, with how they were playing last year, I think they were undefeated against the Celtics, and they just were, I feel like they played better than I really thought they would initially, because they didn't really seem to have, like, that really, really great, veteran presence, or that really, really great playmaking presence, but they still were able to win 34 games. Pretty impressive with such a young group, and just with a pretty fresh coach as well. So I just think that the Orlando Magic next year, with Paolo, most likely taking a leave. He's playing for Team USA this year. That's going to help, refine his game. I'm sure Franz is going to play for Germany and refine his game there. So as long as you have your young guys continually improving, continually getting better, that's only going to help the Orlando Magic moving forward. So who knows? Maybe we see Paolo become more efficient this year because he gets used to having the, kind of the number one reps in the NBA. And then we see Franz Wagner once again just get a little better. Maybe we see him get stronger, get into the rim. Maybe we see him, doing more stuff off the dribble as a shooter. So maybe we see all kinds of things next year for the Orlando Magic. Markelle Fultz, you hope he, stays healthy more often next season. But yeah, the Orlando Magic, great group of young guys. They have some, solid defenders around. They have some pretty great creation, a lot of, different options as far as creators go. So I just really like the team moving forward, and I think they're going to be a team to reckon with in the future. And I think as long as they can keep this kind of core together, especially just Wendell, Paolo, and Franz, and Anthony Black, I feel like they're going to be the team that makes a lot of noise in the future. So yeah, if you stayed in this video, thank you. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you on the next one.